Hello YouTube! I'm underneath my 1993 Honda Del-Sol and we are going to install one of the rear trailing arms. This particular one is going to be the driver's side rear or the left rear. Originally, for inspection, I needed to replace the rear strut here. When I attempted to take the bolt out, of course it was froze up. Long story short, I need new rear trailing arms because by the time I replaced the two bushings that were bad, I may as well just buy the whole new arm. Okay, so I'm just gonna slap it in here. It's no big deal. Here, we'll put this bolt in first, we'll put this one in second. I'll probably have to use my jack and jack it up because I have some more movement with this side, and I'll get it lined up with a punch and get everything lined up. So just remember that. Make sure to put some sort of anti-seize, whatever you guys have, on these bolts, just in case you need to change them out again, or maybe even for the next guy. You know, there's no point in being mean. Just be a nice guy. Lube up your stuff, guys. Come on. At any rate, another note is leave all these bolts loose until you put the car on the ground, and then you can snake in the back with your impact, you know. And then you can tighten everything up after everything is in its relaxed state on the ground. I didn't know this, and that seems to be pretty common. Everybody does their cars like this, hanging off the ground, tightens everything up, and then they sit them on the ground, and then all your bushings are like under load constantly. When I say under load, the rubber's here, the bushing's here, and it's just putting a twist on it all the time. So just remember that. This bolt here will be easy peasy, and then I'm probably gonna have to get the jack out, and then I may have to move you guys. I'm not sure what I'm getting into here. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. I got the fortunate opportunity to work some overtime this weekend, so I worked my Friday. That's normally my day off. So this is gonna be easy peasy. Hell, I might not even need a jack for this one. Yeah, I don't need a jack for this one. Anyway, let me get my jack under here. Put a little pressure on this. And get this up in the air. I apologize for the incoming noise, because there's really no quiet way to get an old noisy floor jack in place. little story behind this particular car. I remember one of these when I was a young lad of 20 years old or so, and I thought it was a cool car. Fast forward about 20 years, I don't know what the hell even I don't know. I just happened to look on YouTube, or online, on Facebook Marketplace, and I found one for sale, cheap. And I thought about getting it for one of my daughters, because, you know, it's a little cute little two-seater, and I ended up falling in love with this thing. I really like this car. My wife gives me shit on the daily about it, almost, so I will get my pry bar, I'll pry this out, and we will be home free. This is going to be an easy install. And then I'm going to loosen up the other side, lower the back down on the ground, tighten it up, and then I'll be done. Hey guys, after much cursing, I ended up taking out the outer bolt, putting in the rear strut bolt, and then just need to jack this guy back up a little bit. And then perfect. Good deal. If you don't have one of these beautiful little pry bars, lady slippers, whatever you want to call them, you need to get one, because they are the shizness when it comes to this type of stuff. Okay, that's on, that's on, that's on. I'll back this one out just about a turn. Okay, go back to the other side, loosen it up, put this tire on over here, drop it, and then tighten up all the suspension once it's down on ride height. That's the way you're supposed to do it. If you tighten these up now and then put it under load, all these rubber joints are going to be under load constantly until they start to give up. So just remember that. Rear trailing arm replacement on a 1993 Del-Sol. Of course, I did the rear calipers, and they're super simple. You have these two bolts for the caliper, and here you have the two bolts for the actual bracket itself to get the rotor off, and you have a bolt up here on the other side of the rear strut, and one down here for this caliper dust plate. It's pretty simple. Don't be afraid of this, guys. It's easy work on these old cars. Okay guys, I'm gonna finally drop the car off the jack, and then I'm going to tighten up my inner trailing arm, my strut mount, and my outer trailing arm mount on both sides. So there's 6 bolts here I need to tighten up. The reason you don't want to tighten them up before you drop it is because the rubber, the vulcanized rubber in there, will freeze in the position that it is now, and you want to freeze in the position that it is at normal riding height. Let's slide in here. Get the 3 on the driver's side. I couldn't get the inner one. This little 3/8 impact is a beast. My trailing arms weren't that bad. It was the fact that I had to change my struts and they were shot. And this here bushing here was shot, like completely seized up on the bolt, and I had to cut them off. And then I checked online and I could get 2 of these bushings for like $38. So I'm like, okay, I'll get those 2 bushings and change them out. I'm like, well, let me double make sure I can get them off. I got the driver's side off, and then I tried to take this one off down here, and it was froze as well. And then that was the straw. Once that one was bad, I determined it would just be more cost effective to just change both trailing arms instead of just changing, all the bushings out. So I got the Dorman brand off of Amazon, and I will link those in the description below. It's my Amazon affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anymore. It gives me a couple cents. So thanks for watching. Till next time.